I've been struggling to carry my e-mountain bike on my van-based adventures. So today I'm going to get a removable tow bar fitted to the van, which will allow me to use an e-bike carrier. That should make living with a bike a whole lot easier. So we're off to West Wales Towing Centre to get it fitted. Come and join me. There are plenty of videos online about how to fit a tow bar to your camper van, and I consider doing it myself. But after doing some investigation and shopping around, I got a really competitive quote from West Wales Towing Limited. So I decided to come here and let them do the job. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let me film any of it, but we can still talk about the finished product. I ordered a tow truss removable tow bar. This is a detachable, horizontal swan neck bar with a D value of 14 kilonewtons. That means its structural strength and ability to handle dynamic forces is rated to 14 kilonewtons, which is a relatively high figure. It's good for towing horse boxes, trailers, etc. And it's rated for a brake trailer weight of about 2.4 tons. The S value of the tow bar is 170 kgf. This is the load the tow bar can support vertically, pressing directly down onto the ball. Now, I don't need to dive into a rabbit hole of legal tow limits and restrictions. I am only carrying an e-bike carrier and e-bikes, so I'm well within the capability of the van and the tow bar and legal limits. Getting a tow bar fitted is about much more than just the swan neck that you can see protruding from the back of the van. So let's have a look under the vehicle and have a look at the entire tow bar fitting. Modern Ducatos use CAN bus electronics and generally have parking sensors, trailer stability control, bulb monitoring and trailer recognition. And so a dedicated vehicle specific kit will allow a plug and play installation which is cleaner, more reliable and doesn't invalidate the vehicle warranty. It'll also support parking sensor cutoff. The installation won't require any wiring splicing, and so it shouldn't affect the functions of the van at all. So let's check it out and see. With my bike rack fitted but not electrically coupled, the parking sensors are going off. You can see that, so I have to disable them on my dashboard. And there they are, disabled. You can see the bike there. I'm in reverse, yet my sensors are now disabled on the dashboard. Not going off. If I re-enable the sensors on the dashboard, there, the bike rack is setting them off, and that's something to be aware of. So let's electrically couple them, and that should deactivate the sensors automatically. Unfortunately, my van's not behaving as I thought it would. Here we have the bike rack fitted and it's electrically coupled to the van, and we've got park assist activated, and you can see that the bike rack is constantly firing the parking sensors. So I have to switch off at the dashboard and disable park assist, and then we can see that the sensors are not constantly activated. So one thing to be aware of, if you fit a tow bar and you use it for carrying a bike rack like this, you're going to have to disable park assist, otherwise it's going to constantly fire them. I was under the impression that fitting the vehicle specific kit would auto do this for me, but seems not to be the case. If you've got some different experience of that and you think I've got it wrong, or there's an easy fix like a couple of pedal presses to activate the trailer towing mode, please drop some comments down below and give me a steer in the right direction. I bought a Thule Velospace XT3 bike rack, basically because I've got an e-mountain bike to carry and I wanted to future-proof myself for if I wanted to carry additional e-mountain bikes. It is a very capable bike rack, and the Thule bike racks are, you know, bomb-proof, but they are quite expensive. So I shopped around and I managed to get a deal on this. I do believe that the Velospace XT3 is going to be discontinued, so it's probably end of line, probably why I got a good deal on it. I don't really care about that. It looks to be bomb proof, and I'll show you now how I take the bike off, how I load the bike, and how I take the bike rack on and off the tow bar. So this is pretty sturdy. There is some wobble on it, but that's wobble of the entire bike rack, and that's locked to the tow bar, so that's going nowhere. Got to say I'm pretty happy with that. And there's space for on the rear there for me also to put some dry bags and my rubbish bins, so they don't have to be kept within the van on adventures. So there's the van. She's looking pretty good. Yes, she could do with a wash, but looking good. Graphics looking good. And what a campsite we're on today. I'm going to overnight there tonight. That'll be fantastic, and I'll be able to get out and about on the e-bike. We're on a really nice campsite here, and I've been testing out the tow bar, and I've been testing out the Thule Velospace XT3 bike rack, and it's performing as expected. Only when the bike rack is fitted, be that just fitted to the tow bar or electrically plugged in via the 13-pin connector, it does set off my rear parking sensors. So with that fitted, I will be disabling my rear parking sensors. It's no great shakes, as I've got a reversing camera anyway, but it's just something people should be aware if you're buying one of these tow bars and getting a vehicle specific kit fitted. I thought it would automatically disable those parking sensors on mine. It doesn't, so it's not really expected behavior, but it's behavior that I can sort of put up with for the benefits that I get from not carrying my mountain bike inside my habitation area. And there's also extra storage space on the back of that rack for rubbish, etc. So when I go on long adventures up to Scotland, cracking through some Munros and off-grid adventures, the positives outweigh the negatives. Another thing which I didn't account for is my installation is probably an inch too high for me to be able to access my barn doors. That is really disappointing. However, I've got enough space on the rear of the bike rack to be able to mount cycling kit there that I'll need. But yeah, I'm quite disappointed at that, but there we are. It is what it is. One of the negatives of getting the bike rack fitted, so there's two so far, haven't been able to access the rear barn doors, and I've got to switch off the park assist on the dashboard with the bike rack mounted. The latter is really minor, but I really wanted to access my garage with that on the back. So yeah, a wee bit disappointing, but it will still be a really good addition to the van. Now you can actually lower the angle of that rack from 50 degrees to 70 degrees through the adjustment of basically a cable, which I'll show you here. You can see there's an additional drilled hole there, so we can make an adjustment, but the angle isn't the issue. The issue is that this sits, you can just see, just ever so slightly above the bumper, which means the rear of my door catches it by, oh, it's not even half an inch. Really disappointing, but there we are. Now, this video's been a bit of a voyage of discovery. I know that I wanted to make modifications to the van, in that I wanted a decent bike rack on the back, and I wanted to be able to carry an e-bike to make my Monroe bagging adventures slightly easier, and for me to get around on campsites when I'm in situ. I think the bike rack ticks the boxes. I'm going to be able to put some waterproof canoe bags on the bike rack and put my rubbish there, so I don't have to live in the van with my rubbish when I can't find areas for correct disposal. So that's great as well. And in future adventures, I'll be looking to upgrade what I carry within the van, so I can get out, use it as an off-grid base, and get out and do more wide and varied adventures. So keep tuned for that. If you found that content useful, please like, share, subscribe, follow along, and don't miss any of the action.